This is the OTB Network.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Horses and Courses. I'm Jean Wood. A little bit of a slowdown from recent pace of events in the world of stakes racing action. Nonetheless, stakes racing continues even though the Breeders' Cup has been completed, and we are going to begin this week's program at Delaware Park for the Foggy Note Handicap, a $55,000 sprint with a condition for 3-year-olds and up. Drew all of the usual suspects for a Mid-Atlantic sprint race, and a nice shipper in, Red Bullet, returning to the races for Joe Orsino. Let's head down now to Delaware Park for the running of the Foggy Note.
Set. In there, off. Rudy broke off from the outside and quickly goes to the front, but here comes Rusty Spur up toward the inside to challenge forward. Now get the lead. Rusty Spur by a neck. Rudy right there in second. True Passion now on the move into third. Lengthening it further back to Wild Current with Val right alongside. Up on the outside, Red Bullet, then come the Grays. He's a knockout, and your trailer is Marciano as they make their way past the half-mile marker. Opening quarter in 21-4. Rusty Spur toward the inside. Also right there, Rudy and True Passion, those three across the track in a spirited duel. Then a gap of 4 lengths to Red Bullet, who's edging a bit closer in fourth now. Wild Current toward the inside of Val, then comes Marciano, and he's a knockout. They've got under 3/8 to go. Rusty Spur toward the inside, leads it now by about a length over Rudy. True Passion on the outside. Red Bullet's going to make a 4-wide sweepy move under McCarthy, then toward the inside, Wild Current as they head for home. It's Rusty Spur, the half-wide in 44-3, a furlong to go. Here comes Red Bullet kicking in now. In between horses, Rudy. Rusty Spur is gamely trying to hang on. Red Bullet is coming on the outside, and Red Bullet, in a prep for the Cigar Mile, is going to win it going away by 2.5 under Michael McCarthy. Rusty Spur second, Marciano up for third.
Red Bullet and Mike McCarthy picking up a 2+ length victory as the favorite. Not surprising when you line up horses like Rusty Spur, Rudy, True Passion, that you're going to have a very, very quick pace, and it certainly worked to the advantage of Red Bullet, who I really don't think is at his best going 6 furlongs, but he was able to go 1:10.34 here. Very, very fast time, helped by very good fractions in the early going. These pace setter Rusty Spur, who had run some nice races against good company down in New York as well as in the Mid-Atlantic circuit earlier on this year, holds on for the second spot as Marciano closes, again taking advantage of that blistering pace in the early going for the third spot. He is a horse that I haven't heard from in quite some time, but he does pop up every now and then, and he usually runs quite nicely from off the pace. The winner, Red Bullet, a 5-year-old chestnut horse, the son of Unbridled from Cargo by Caro, was bred in Kentucky by the Adena Springs Farm, owned by the Stronach Stable, trained by Joe Orsino. Looks like he is pointing next to the Cigar Mile at the Big A on Thanksgiving weekend. Red Bullet, ridden to victory by Mike McCarthy, completes the 6 furlongs at Delaware in 1:10.1. Heading to the Mid-Atlantic once more, this time to Laurel for the Politely for Maryland-bred fillies going 7 furlongs. Let's head back down south, this time to Laurel for the running of the Politely.
Off in the Politely, Gazillion bobbles slightly at the start. Singing Sword, and here's Willa on the move, getting away in good order. Gazillion is recovered in third. Here's Dante's Rocket moving up fourth, while 3 wide, followed by Miscap. Then we go back to Fixius, and True Sensation is the trailer. Racing up the backstretch now, Singing Sword, and Pinot's crossed over to lead them 3/4 of a length. Gazillion, Dante's Rocket, Willa on the move will track along 2.5 or 3 off the lead. A break of 2 to Miscap, another 2 to Fixius, and drop back 2 more to True Sensation is last of all, and some 9 lengths off the front. Racing for the far turn now. Here's Gazillion moving through on the inside, and Dante's Rocket, they've quickly gathered up Singing Sword and passed her by a length and a half, and Willa on the move is on the move into the third spot and 2 lengths in the front. Willa on the move in a prime spot with 3/8 of a mile left to go. Miscap is 5 lengths to close in. She's racing along in 5th and trying to start a bid. Back to Fixius, and True Sensation is the trailer. They're at the top of the stretch. Willa on the move up there 3 wide and going confidently at the top of the lane. Willa on the move is opened up on Dante's Rocket and Gazillion and all the others. Miscap is next, followed by Fixius to the inside. Singing Sword is given way in True Sensation with 1 furlong to go. What a comeback for Willa on the Move. She's just hand-ridden through the stretch, making the Politely Stakes look like a big paid workout for her. Willa on the Move, powerful in the last furlong. Nice final clocking there for Willa on the Move, a 1:22 and 3. Second was Gazillion, and third was Fixius, followed by True Sensation. Then came Miscap and Dante's Rocket and Singing Sword.
Willa on the Move returns to action with an easy 11-length victory at odds on here. A very, very handy victory after stalking the pace. She just simply dragged her rider to the lead without ever looking back. Gazillion closes from a stalking position after dueling in the inside of horses and picking up the second spot by a neck from Fixius, who was very, very far back in the early going, swung wide, picking up the third spot, but neither of them any match for Willa on the Move, who had contested some pretty high-level graded stakes earlier on in her career. Willa on the Move is a Maryland-bred daughter of Two Punch from Willa Jo by El Gran Senor. She has the odd distinction of having the same name as her granddam. I believe Willa Jo is out of a mare by the name of Willa on the Move, who is in fact the dam of, amongst others, I believe, Will's Way, a very good family. Odd that they would repeat the name so closely, however, in the family. She was bred in Maryland by Robert Guinnechette and is owned by the Marathon Farms, trained by Rodney Jenkins, a former equestrian and involved in horse show jumping sports, now training a team of jumping horses as well as racing horses, and continuing very, very well in both endeavors. Willa on the Move, ridden to victory by Jose Santana, completes the 7 furlongs in 1:22 and 3. Heading next to Churchill Downs for a pair of juvenile stakes races, and the juveniles at Churchill Downs this time of year, always interesting to watch, as obviously good form over that Churchill surface usually bodes well for success in the big events in the early part of May. We're going to start with the Pocahontas for 2-year-old fillies going a flat mile. $100,000 is the purse. Let's head to Churchill now for the running of the Pocahontas.
Off and running in the Pocahontas. Quick start for Star of Atticus. She takes the early lead from Suris on the outside, racing in second, and You Can't Take Me came away in third. Belle of Parenttown races fourth. Red Cells racing in fifth. Holiday Lady on the far outside. That is Female Accomplice now second last. Miss Listo at the back of a bunch field. There's 6 lengths front to back up out of the main track they go. Through the opening quarter mile here, and they clicked it off in 22 and 4/5 seconds, and it's You Can't Take Me leading it by a neck. Star of Atticus pressing the pace from the outside in second, and Suris moves up a closer third, 3 wide now. Then Belle of Parenttown, Miss Listo bottled up along the inside. A break of 3 farther back to Holiday Lady. Then it's Red Cell in 4 farther back to Female Accomplice. 10 off the pace as they run past the half-mile pole. Half and 45 and 3 on a round of far turn they go. You Can't Take Me tackled by Star of Atticus, and Suris looms a danger on the outside in third. Then Belle of Parenttown's racing along in fourth by 2 more. Holiday Lady gets involved and rallies up into the race on the far side. Miss Listo set down for the drive. Then Red Cell and 5 farther back to Female Accomplice at the top of the lane at the quarter pole. Star of Atticus set down for the drive by Lonnie Mesh, leads it by a neck, tackle by Suris on the outside. Belle of Parenttown's driving third, and Holiday Lady down to the final furlong. Still a stubborn Star of Atticus. That neck in front. Suris is flat to the boards to the outside, and Belle of Parenttown third, final 16th. Star of Atticus on the inside, tough as nails. Here comes Belle of Parenttown surging. Star of Atticus, Belle of Parenttown, in the final strides to win the Pocahontas over Star of Atticus second, and Suris was third in 1:36 and 2.
Belle of Parenttown and Mark Guidry picking up the victory. She broke her maiden last time out in her 5th career start, was overlooked in the wagering at 8-1, and picked up a 3/4 length victory over Star of Atticus, who dueled in the early going, was a bit on the wide side, and was just outfinished. Suris, also involved in the pace, top of the stretch, looked like she was in perfect condition, did come up a little bit flat as the favorite at just over even money. The winner, Belle of Parenttown, is a 2-year-old daughter of DeHare from Hot Match by Mr. Prospector. Bred by B. Wayne Hughes in Kentucky, owned by Ken Mahler and Jamie Schloss, trained by Eddie Keneally, and ridden to victory by Mark Guidry. Belle of Parenttown completes the flat mile at Churchill in a very quick 1:36 and 2. 2-year-olds in action on Sunday at Churchill Downs, this time grade 3 Iroquois for 2-year-old colts and geldings. Again, $100,000, a flat mile. Let's head back to Churchill for the running of the Iroquois.
All set, off and running in the Iroquois. Boston Park springs out on top. Mr. Whitestone flashing good speed, and Posse will join the fray from third. Then it's Alki racing fourth, and Champolly's on the inside. A close-up fifth. Bluegrass Spirit makes it 5 across the track. A gap of a couple farther back to Repartment now, followed by Paticon, the favorite. What a Bad Day, settling in on the inside and gaining steadily up into it now behind a wall of horses. And a gap of 4 back to Larry B, who trails. Opening quarter clicked off in a solid 22 and 2/5 seconds. It's Champolly and Pat Day, 3 parts of length in front. Alki's right there off his flank in second. Bluegrass Spirit third. What a Bad Day, and John Court's got his feet up in the dashboard, tugging hard with nowhere to go along the inside at the moment. And behind that comes Repartment now. Then it's Posse on the far outside, gaining up into it with Boston Park on the extreme outside. Then it's Paticon, too farther back to Mr. Whitestone. At the back of the pack is Larry B, half down the straightaway, 45 and 4. Bunching up on the front end, Champolly leads it by just ahead. Alki, Bluegrass Spirit is right there, joined by Boston Park on the far outside. Then a couple farther back to Posse. What a Bad Day, now being scrubbed on by Court along the inside. A nightmarish journey for him so far. They head for home in the stretch drive with 3 across the track here. Boston Park 3 wide, a short lead. Whip comes out on Alki. He pokes his head in front. Champolly's game along the inside. Then it's What a Bad Day, and Paticon down to the final furlong they go. It's Champolly and Pat Day with something left. Now 3/4 now, a length in front of Alki second. Champolly, Alki coming back on. Champolly, Alki on the outside. Champolly wins the Iroquois by a length. Alki was second, tight for third. What a Bad Day, or Boston Park in 137 flat.
Champolly, in a very game effort, this horse was involved in the early pace, fell back and re-rallied to finish a length and a quarter ahead of Alki, who was one of his dueling rivals throughout the early part of the race, 5-1. Favored What a Bad Day, did not have a particularly good day. He bobbled a bit at the break, did have some traffic trouble down inside, finally came wide to just miss the second spot and have a nose advantage over Boston Park in the third spot. The winner, Champolly, is now 3 for 3, having broken his maiden at Ellis, won an allowance race at Keeneland, moving into stakes company very confidently here on the stretch out. Interestingly enough, a colt that has, I would say, perhaps pedigree more geared towards going short, but handled the mile very nicely. Champolly is a 2-year-old bay son of Glitterman from Radioactivity by Dixieland Band. Bred in Kentucky by the McGee Stables, owned by Lloyd Madison Farms, Fred Schwartz et al., and trained by Gregory Foley. Ridden to victory by Pat Day, the king of Churchill Downs himself. Champolly completes the flat mile of the Iroquois in 137 flat. We're going to head next to Woodbine, north of the border, for the running of the Maple Leaf on Saturday, a Canadian grade 3 for older fillies and mares at 1.25 miles on the main track. Let's head to Canada now for the running of the Maple Leaf.
They're off in the Maple Leaf Stakes. Small Promises away alertly from the extreme outside. In between runners there, My Real Quiet Lady. And down toward the inside is Lady Sherry. It is My Real Quiet Lady who comes on for a short lead. Small Promises taken in hand as they move in front of us for the first time. And it's My Real Quiet Lady through an opening quarter mile in 24 1/5 of a second. Small Promises is on the extreme outside. Silver Nithy between horses, and Lady Sherry saves ground into the clubhouse turn. Then we have La Princesse Jolie, who is back in 5th, 6 lengths off the lead. She's followed by Royal Dalliance. Down toward the inside, it's Rich Mist. Then we have Saratoga Cat, and Cat's the Ring trails this group. Back 11 lengths off the lead as they start their journey along the backstretch, 48 4/5 of a second for the opening half mile. And it's the pace-setting My Real Quiet Lady who is stalked by Small Promises at the midpoint of the backstretch. The Canadian Derby winner, Lady Sherry, is tucked in nicely on the rail but needs running room. To her outside is Silver Nithy. Rich Mist, a long shot in here, starts to improve toward the inside, but also needs some running room. Then we have Royal Dalliance, who's back 6 lengths off the lead. To the inside of Princess Jolie. Catch the Ring is moved within 7 lengths to the lead, and Small Promises is making a move at My Real Quiet Lady with 2.5 furlongs to the wire. Catch the Ring is wide and gaining ground, and here comes Silver Nithy as well. This one's up for grabs. Inside the quarter pole, Small Promises, Silver Nithy. To the inside is My Real Quiet Lady. Catch the Ring is wide. Royal Dalliance, Lady Sherry, they're into the stretch. Small Promises, and she is digging down deep and fending off Silver Nithy. Here comes Lady Sherry with an energetic run to take the lead now, and Lady Sherry with a perfectly timed run to win the Maple Leaf from Montpellier. Small Promises second best, and Silver Nithy was third.
Lady Sherry picking up a 3.5 length victory at 5-1, sitting a perfect trip. She did have a little bit of traffic trouble, boxed in on the second turn, but when she got clear, she made a very nice move to victory over Small Promises. The favorite in the field of 9 was Silver Nithy, who was involved in the early pace in a stalking trip, drawing even at the top of the stretch, but flattening out late in the drive. The winner, Lady Sherry, a 3-year-old filly taking on some of her elders successfully, bred in Kentucky by Bob and B. Roberts, a daughter of Judge T.C. from Badgering Sherry by Badgerland. She is owned by Dominion Bloodstock, trained by David Cody, and ridden to victory by Chris Montpellier. Lady Sherry completes the mile and 2 furlongs, 1.25 miles in 2:06.1. We're going to head next to Northern California, Bay Meadows, for the Bay Meadows Derby. We're going to have a group of 3-year-olds going the about distance of 1 1/8 miles, the American debut of Century City, who earlier this year ran quite well in a runner-up position behind Rock of Gibraltar. Let's head to Bay Meadows now for the running of the Bay Meadows Derby.
Here they come. Century City was off very slowly. He comes away in last. Alibaba's out for the lead. Also, there is Surprise. And Royal Gem comes away in third outside of Runaway Dancer. Further back is Blue Slew Shoes with Leprechaun Kid. Mr. Wensleydale has the rail running. Century City moves on by him, 1 from the rail. There's not a lot of pace on as anticipated. Alibaba with the narrow lead. To his inside is Surprise. They are absolutely crawling on the lead. Royal Gem is third. Now Century City has recovered, and he's taking advantage of the soft pace. He's all the way up into third along the inside. Runaway Dancer comes away in fifth. Further back is Leprechaun Kid. He secures the rail running before entering the backside run. In second to last is Blue Slew Shoes, and the trailer is Mr. Wensleydale. Now Surprised inherits the lead, 25-2 for the opening quarter, 51 seconds for the half up the Longden Lawn. Surprised with a length advantage over Alibaba. Century City is all covered up along the inside. Royal Gem races in the clear. He's vying for second. He has 2 to make up on Surprised. It's a length and a half back to Runaway Dancer covering Leprechaun Kid. More than 3 to Blue Slew Shoes, who's a length clear of Mr. Wensleydale. 3/4 went in 1:15.4 inside the 3/8. Surprised with the lead from Alibaba. Royal Gem 3 wide. Here comes Runaway Dancer. Runaway Dancer's in the thick of things, 4 wide. Century City finds himself in 5th at the top of the lane. He has more than 3 to make up, and then we'll go to Leprechaun Kid. They kick for the wire, and it's Surprised who clings to the lead. Royal Gem's in the clear, advancing from a 3 wide position. Alibaba's outrunning his odds. He's in with a chance. Century City needs to quicken. He's in the clear, and he's closing. It's Royal Gem. Century City, Royal Gem, Alibaba, Century City, Royal Gem. Royal Gem wins the Bay Meadows Derby. Second and third involving Century City and Alibaba. Surprised finished 4th.
Royal Gem and Russell Bays getting the victory here over Alibaba. Unfortunately, Century City blew the break. He dwelt at the start and unfortunately was left with much too much to do despite a very bold rally. As the odds-on favorite, he ended up falling short under Mike Smith and having to claim the 3rd spot. He obviously, as happens to many American debuters from Europe, are caught unaware at the break, and we saw it in the Breeders' Cup last weekend, and here was Century City, who certainly appears to be a very talented horse, closing a ton of ground into a very slow pace. The winner, Royal Gem, also a very nice horse, began his career earlier this year for his connections. Bobby Frankel trains, won a stakes race in his second start, did move in to the Forerunner, I believe, at Keeneland off of that, finished a good third, was laid off, came back in the Oak Tree Derby where he finished off the board, got a little class relief here, sent to Northern California for the neck victory over Ali Bubba. I would imagine that Century City, once he learns to get out of the gate in a little bit better order, will certainly be a force to be reckoned with for trainer Bo Greeley, who has given him most of the year off. I believe his last start was back in the month of May overseas. The winner, Royal Gem, is a 3-year-old dark bay or brown son of Royal Academy from Tiffany's Gem by Effervescing. He was bred by La Jolla Thoroughbreds in Kentucky, owned by Pamela Blatz and Helen Smith, trained by Bobby Frankel and ridden to victory by Russell Bays. Royal Gem completes the 1 1/8 on the firm turf course in 1:48.1. We are going to break now for a brief message, and when we return, we'll be taking a look at a series of stakes races from Santa Anita. Please stay tuned.
By supporting NTRA Charities and its affiliates, you help horses stay safe and healthy before, during, and after their racing careers. You help the people and the communities that are home to NTRA member tracks and farms. And you help Ronald McDonald House Charities worldwide. NTRA Charities, serving our community and yours.
Off-Track Betting is taking wagering on many tracks across the country, from New York to California, Philadelphia to Kentucky, New Jersey to Texas, and you can wager on any of these from the convenience of your own home simply by opening an OTB Phonabet account. You'll receive reliable, courteous, and prompt service 7 days a week. And with our fully computerized system, it's guaranteed your bet will be received the moment you give it to any one of our OTB telephone betting agents. Convenience? That's the whole idea behind a telephone betting account. Stop into your nearest branch for more details.
Welcome back to Horses and Courses. Next, we're going to be heading to Southern California. Beginning with California, we're going to take a look at some of the Cal Cup races from last Saturday, beginning with the Cal Cup Juvenile, $125,000 for 2-year-old colts and geldings, going 1 1/16. Let's head to Southern California for the Cal Cup Juvenile.
Way to go. Seymour was out fast, so was Crack Up along the inside. Now here's Excessive Bob running up to join them on the outside. Bold and Broke. Oh, and just a little tight here as Seymour had to take back a little. Oberwald running up alongside of him. They're going very fast early on. Here Jordan has to go wide into the turn. Global Games second last, and Martin Bless Me taken back last, 6 off them. They run to the 3/4 pole, and Bold and Broke sprinting away now. Couldn't be going any quicker. He opens up just over a length. Crack Up is racing in second. Excessive Bob travelling beautifully in third. Excessive Bob on a tight hold here. 3 lengths off these leaders. Oberwald is in fourth. Then comes Seymour and Hare Jordan. Now Martin Bless Me is going to move up on the outside. 7 lengths off the leaders, and Global Games is last. They run to the half-mile pole, and Bold and Broke is the leader, been followed by Crack Up in the second position. Excessive Bob right there in third. Oberwald is in the blue in fourth, then Hare Jordan. Seymour down at the rail. Martin Bless Me now 5 off the leaders, and still the trailer is Global Games. Into the turn they go, and Excessive Bob starting his run on the outside now. He's breathing down the neck of Crack Up. Bold and Broke is right there at the rail, then Hare Jordan. Martin Bless Me now drops onto the rail, running on from fifth. They come to the top of the lane. Crack Up is a narrow leader. Bold and Broke at the rail. Excessive Bob in the pink on the outside, then Hare Jordan and Martin Bless Me coming for home, and Crack Up goes on. Excessive Bob now has to quicken to catch Crack Up. It's Crack Up and Excessive Bob going to fight this one out. Crack Up digs deep. He finds more. Excessive Bob a length and a half back and can't close this gap on Crack Up. And Crack Up and Tyler Bays take the California Cup Juvenile by 2 to Excessive Bob. Hare Jordan third, and Bold and Broke finish fourth.
Crack Up and Tyler Bays picking up a 2-length victory, showing very good speed, as would be expected from a son of Distorted Humor. A very nice effort here to win by 2 over Excessive Bob, who tried very hard from every step of the way, but was just no match for the winner as the favorite. Hare Jordan, 25-1, rallying from far off the pace, picking up the 3rd spot, far better than the rest in the field. But a little bit of a disappointing performance here from Oberwald, who had early in the year looked like a very nice 2-year-old who has kind of had a couple of setbacks. The winner, Crack Up, is a 2-year-old bay, son of Distorted Humor, from Go Lightly by Habitoni. He was bred in California by Malibu Valley Farms, Arthur and Mary Alisi. He's owned by Stan Fulton, trained by Rafael Becerra, and ridden to victory by Tyler Bays. Crack Up completes the mile in his 16th in 1:43 and 4. Next, we're going to take a look at the Cal Cup Sprint, always one of the most enjoyable races on the card, as a lot of these California-bred sprinters are very, very fast horses. $150,000 for 3-year-olds and up, going 6 furlongs. Unfortunately, this race was marred by a spill. Let's head back out to California for the running of the Cal Cup Sprint.
Away they go. They're broken a perfect line. Con Quixote, the grey, is very fast. Along the inside, we have Unlimited Value, Eldorado Shooters right there, and at the rail, Rio Oro. 4 of them line up on the lead. A gap of 3 back to McCord and Scuba. Treasured Note on the outside. Stormy Jack is second last, 7 lengths off these leaders, and 4 more to Ride and Shine. Past the half mile they go, and Rio Oro's now taken a narrow lead. Unlimited Value right there second. Then we come back to Eldorado Shooter in third, and Con Quixote is the grey in fourth. Back to Treasured Note, McCord and Scuba. Stormy Jack is now 10 lengths off the leaders, and 4 more to Ride and Shine. Oh, there's a horse gone down here. It was McCord and Scuba went down. They're behind these tents. I believe it was Rio Oro. Can't find Rio Oro. I believe it was him. They come to the top of the lane now, and Unlimited Value has gone on with it. Unlimited Value clear by 3 now. Con Quixote's the grey on the outside. They come past the 8th pole, and it's still Unlimited Value clear by 5 lengths now, and coming home to an easy win. Con Quixote and Treasured Note going to battle it out for second. Unlimited Value gives Pat Valenzuela his third here. Treasured Note was second. Con Quixote third, and Stormy Jack finished fourth.
Unlimited Value and Pat Valenzuela 3 1/4 lengths the better of the field. Treasured Note rallying from off the pace into the second spot. Con Quixote picks up the third spot. Unfortunately, Rio Oro, who showed good speed dueling inside of horses, broke down on the turn. He fell. McCord Scuba came down out on top of him. He was unable to avoid him. It did appear that Kent DeSormo was pretty badly shaken up, but okay. I'm not sure about the condition of the other rider or the other horse. I believe that Rio Oro was destroyed as a result of the injuries suffered. The winner, Unlimited Value, is a nice 6-year-old horse, a son of Present Value from Donna Duck by Don B. He was a California bred from Harris Farms and Ray Johnson, owned by the Harris Farm, trained by Carla Gaines and ridden to victory by P-Val, Pat Valenzuela. The 6 furlong time for the Cal Cup Sprint. As usual, a quick one, 1:08 and 1. Cal Cup Classic next. Older horses, 3-year-olds and up, going for $250,000, the distance 1 1/8. Let's head back out to California for the Cal Cup Classic.
Away they go. Hot Market leapt in the air, and Hot Market lost about 5 lengths. Slippery when bet is fast into stride. Eric de Bomb from the outside gate sprinting up now. Continental Red settling down in third. Bonus Payday in the pink colours. Earl of Danby's down at the rail. Then Calkins Road. Groom on the run. Hot Market quickly making up ground. And Grey Memo is last. 11 off the leaders. They run past these 7/8 and Slippery when bet down at the rail, and Eric de Bomb. They set a good pace, a length back to Earl of Danby in third. Continental Red now fourth, and Bonus Payday is fifth. Calkins Road is scraping paint in 6, 4 lengths off these leaders. Another 3 back to Hot Market. Then a big gap of 5 to Groom on the run, and Grey Memo is last, a good 13 off this leader. Past the 5/8 they go, and Eric de Bomb is now in front, just over a length. Earl of Danby's taken second. Slippery when bet has dropped back into third. Bonus Payday now making a smart move in the pink colours, and Bonus Payday being allowed to run up and to be a joint second. Continental Red is in fifth. Then Calkins Road. Hot Market at the back of the leading group, 5 off them. 4 more to Groom on the run, and Grey Memo. They run to the 3/8 and Eric de Bomb the leader. Earl of Danby second. Bonus Payday in the pink colours. Slippery when Win Bet coming back into contention at the rail. Then Continental Red, Hot Market, Groom on the run, and Grey Memo now winding up from last. They very bunched. Earl of Danby just took up on the turn. They come for home now. Still Eric de Bomb, Bonus Payday. Here's Grey Memo though. The Grey Memo crying out for room. Grey Memo going to drop down onto the rail and come with his run. Calkins Road in the white blinkers. Continental Red on the outside. Grey Memo got stopped cold. Now it's Continental Red. Slippery Win Bet coming back. Calkins Road between them. Continental Red, Calkins Road run for the wire together. Calkins Road ahead to Continental Red. Slippery Win Bet and unlucky Grey Memo. Then Hot Market, Groom on the run. Bonus Payday, Eric de Bomb, and Earl of Danby was last.
Calkins Road, interesting here, a 3-year-old taking on some elders and really running very nicely at 10-1, getting a head victory over Continental Red, a horse who had been running against major Grade 1 company on the turf, dropping back a little bit here in distance, going back in with the Calbreds and switching back onto the main track for the first time in quite some time, running very, very nicely after being forced out into the widest spot coming into the move for home. Slippery Win Bet shows good speed inside and managed to hold on very nicely. In fact, re-rallied just a little bit to pick up the 3rd spot. Grey Memo went off as the favorite. As usual, ran from well off the pace, could only manage a 4th place finish. Hot Market got off to a very poor start. He reared a bit coming out of the gate. He was also a horse that early on in his career looked to be a colt that might be a force to be reckoned with. Has not quite lived up to expectations, but I think is a much better horse than what we saw on the in the Cal Cup Classic. Winner Calkins Road actually had run 3rd to Came Home in the Affirmed earlier on this year. Returned to that nice effort here. He is a 3-year-old chestnut son of Illinois Storm from Little Code by Lost Code, bred in California by Thomas and Deborah Shapiro, owned by Mr. and Mrs. Shapiro and trained by John Sheriffs. Ridden to victory by the great Lafitte Pincay Jr., Calkins Road completes the 1 1/8 of the Cal Cup Classic in 1:49 flat. We're going to take a look now at 2 stakes races from Sunday's card at Santa Anita, beginning with the Grade 3 Morvich, a $100,000 event at the about distance of 6.5 furlongs on the turf course, the downhill turf course at Santa Anita. Interestingly enough, named after a great California horse from the 20s who I think he was unbeaten going into the Kentucky Derby. He lost the Derby, never won again, and I think that he was probably better meant as a sprinter, so timely that they would run the race in his honor in sprint distances. Let's head out to California now for the running of Sunday's Morvich.
Where they go. Master Belt begins well from the outside gate. Looking East is out fast as well. On the inside, FJ's Pace, and FJ's Pace now going up to take over. Al Cielo in the red colours is showing good speed as well. Racing in just behind them is It True Max. Then back to Catcher Mandy, been followed by Furtivo in the white sleeves, a good 10 off them, and absolutely flying out on the lead. Then we come back to I Love Silver and Sarafan. They have a half-mile left to go, and FJ's Pace along the inside as the leader. Looking East is right there in the 2nd spot. Those two come down the hill, 1-2. Al Cielo, those closing in from the 3rd position. Just in behind that is a True Max, and Mac Ward is on the outside now taking 4th. Then starting to run on is I Love Silver. I Love Silver going to come with a blue cap on the outside of that. Behind them comes Master Belt. They turn for home. FJ's Pace. Al Cielo in the red colours. Mac Ward on the grandstand side. I Love Silver looking to get away through. They come for home wide open. Al Cielo's a narrow leader on the outside. Here's Master Belt. Sarafan out of nowhere. I Love Silver probably 6 in a line. Master Belt gonna get up. Master Belt. I Love Silver. Catch Mandy and Sarafan.
Master Belt pulling off a 68-1 upset here. That's right, $138 Mutual on top in a pretty good field of horses. El Cielo, who is all but unbeatable on this turf course, chased in a position off the rail but was outfinished late. A lot of horses' noses crossing the finish line at the same time, but it was Master Belt who made the best move, chasing outside, coming down the hill, and rallied strongly under Tyler Bays. This is a horse making his first start in the United States, coming up here from New Zealand, and that shift from the Southern Hemisphere is not easy, especially when you move them right into stakes company first time off the bat on a rather unusual surface, that downhill course. But obviously a horse to be reckoned with. I Love Silver made his usual off the pace move, picking up the second spot, and Kashamandi completes the order of the top three. He had run a very nice race last time out in the Oak Tree Mile to just miss Night Patrol. Seraphan and El Cielo also very close together, finishing 4th and 5th. The favorite El Cielo, a little disappointing in here, as this has been his favorite surface throughout his long career. The winner, Master Belt, is a chestnut 4-year-old gelding. He was born in the month of October, so he just passed his 4th birthday in actual time. So he is a very young 4-year-old. He is a son of Master Class from Lady Di by Star of Luston, bred by K and K.A. Gray in New Zealand, owned by Tom Hamilton, trained by Simon Bray, ridden to victory by Tyler Bays. Master Belt completes the 6.5 furlongs, the about distance on the downhill turf course, in a brisk 1:12.2. Next, we're going to head back to Santa Anita for the running of the Las Palmas, a Grade 2 handicap for 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares, at 1 1/8 on the turf. The purse here, $200,000. Let's head back to Santa Anita for the running of the Las Palmas.
Way to go. On the inside, Tate's Creek comes away smoothly. I'm the Business, the grey is right there. Desiree's My Candy shows speed, and Two Shamar one from the outside. The grey on the outside is Crazy Ensign. Down at the rail, No Shade de Rosa is running up right behind the leaders. Voodoo Dancer, meanwhile, is taken back second last, although only 4 lengths off this leader, and Magic Mission has dropped down onto the rail at the back. The rest of the group tightly bunched as they pass the stands first time round. Two Shamar is the leader. Desiree's My Candy on her inside, and Crazy Ensign is the grey right there third. Tate's Creek is in the 4th position. Rocher de Rocha down at the rail, only 3 lengths off these leaders. Voodoo Dancer is still third last, giving them 4.5, 5 length start. I'm the Business has been taken back second last, and Magic Mission is the trailer. On to the backstretch they go, and Two Shamar, nice and relaxed out here. Got her ears pricked, taking him along comfortably, leads a length and 3/4. In the second spot is Crazy Ensign. Desiree's My Candy at the rail. Now Voodoo Dancer's making headway without being asked. Voodoo Dancer all the way up to third, only a length off the leader now. No Shade de Rosa is pretty keen to go on, 2.5 off them. Tate's Creek is going to have to go wide into the turn. I'm the Business is the grey, 4.5 lengths off them, and Magic Mission continues to trail. Into the turn they go, and Voodoo Dancer suddenly kicks for home, and Voodoo Dancer just sprinted away from them here. Voodoo Dancer opens up 1.5 lengths. Tate's Creek now coming after her. Two Shamar couldn't quicken that fast, has dropped back into third. I'm the Business trying to get involved late. Coming for home, and Voodoo Dancer's full of run out here. Tate's Creek is giving a game chase from second. Voodoo Dancer and Tate's Creek. Voodoo Dancer, Tate's Creek's coming fast on the inside. Voodoo Dancer and Tate's Creek, they're going to hit the wire together. Tate's Creek gets up. Voodoo Dancer second. Magic Mission was third, and Crazy Ensign finished 4th.
Tate's Creek ducks to the inside after tracking the early lead, and picks up a neck victory over a game Voodoo Dancer, who just swept to the front under Corey Nakatani, opened up a 2-length lead within a matter of strides heading into the turn, but was not quite able to hold off the eventual winner. Magic Mission rallies from far off the pace to pick up the 3rd spot, well back, about 1.5 lengths back of the 2nd place finisher. Tate's Creek goes off as the 2nd choice behind Voodoo Dancer, and for the 2nd time this year is able to upset that rival. Tate's Creek is a chestnut 4-year-old daughter of Rahi from Viviana by Nureyev. She was bred by the Juddmonte Farm in Kentucky, owned by Juddmonte Farm, and trained by Bobby Frankel. Ridden to victory by Jerry Bailey, who's in for the Mountain, Southern California. The distance of 1 1/8 on a firm turf course in the Las Palmas, covered by Tate's Creek in 1:47.3. We are going to pause for one more brief message, and when we return, we'll be wrapping up the week's stakes racing action from Aqueduct. Please stay with us.
This year, many thoroughbreds, no longer able to compete, will join the ranks of racing's homeless. The Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation and its supporters have been providing help and hope, creating opportunities where once there were none. The TRF, together with the racing industry, is meeting the challenge, taking care of their own. With your help, we can continue our saving mission, ensuring many more horses the welcome home they so richly deserve.
Who is this woman? A world-class tennis player? A famous fashion model? No, this is Diane Nelson, one of the nation's top-ranked jockeys. When Diane rides, she wants the best horse. And when Diane has a day off, she wants the best entertainment. And that's at the Teletheater Clubhouse.
If you haven't been to the Teletheater Clubhouse yet, you're missing something. It's really for everyone. Bring your friends, your family, and come on down.
The Teletheater Clubhouse, Central Avenue, Albany.
Welcome back, everyone, to Horses and Courses. We're going to finish up the week's stakes racing action at Aqueduct, beginning with a pair from Saturday, starting with the Grade 3 Nashua for 2-year-old Colts and Geldings going a flat mile for $100,000. Let's head down to Aqueduct for the running of the Nashua.
And they're off. Roaring Fever, Wacky for Love, and Added Edge. From down the inside, Boston Bull comes up now to grab the lead. Boston Bull, the early leader. Boston Bull in front by a neck. On the outside, Added Edge right there. Wacky for Love backs off to run in third. Now the inside Outer Reef is fourth. And Roaring Fever is fifth and settling down about 4 lengths from front-running Boston Bull. A break of 4 lengths back to the 2 trailers, Formidable Fox and Are You Amused? Up the backstretch and Boston Bull the leader. The opening quarter was a sensible 23 2/5 seconds. Added Edge on the outside runs along in second. Outer Reef kept close to the pace third. Wacky for Love is well held on the inside. And then it's Roaring Fever racing fifth, still about 4 lengths from Boston Bull. Are You Amused and Formidable Fox after a half in 46 2/5 seconds. Around the far turn, and here comes Added Edge up to confront Boston Bull. Boston Bull holds the lead with 3 furlongs to go. He's in front by a half length. Added Edge keeps that pressure on, second by 3. Outer Reef and Roaring Fever, followed by Wacky for Love and Formidable Fox, and they're coming to the top of the stretch. Boston Bull's in an all-out drive to hold off a stubborn Added Edge. The two of them slug it out coming into the stretch, and Added Edge has overpowered Boston Bull. Added Edge in front. Boston Bull is given away second. Outer Reef, a late surge toward the inside. Then farther back gets Roaring Fever and Wacky for Love. They're coming down to the finish, and it's Added Edge to do it. Added Edge wins, winning by 2.5 lengths. Outer Reef got up for second, and it's a photo for third between Roaring Fever and Boston Bull.
Added Edge remains undefeated coming down from California, or from north of the border, rather, Canada, and picking up a very nice win here, sweeping to the front at the top of the stretch, digging in nicely as Outer Reef closed a little bit of ground down on the rail. Favored Boston Bull, involved every step of the way, quickly out in front, held on stubbornly to the third spot here. He is a horse that has done very well sprinting, stretched out here. He's got some pedigree to stretch out, but perhaps dropping back to sprinting might be the best thing for him. The winner, Added Edge, is a chestnut 2-year-old son of Smart Strike from Sweet Nostalgia by Mr. Red-Eye. He was bred in Kentucky by Gulf Coast Bloodstock, owned by Team Valor and Robert J. Wilson, trained by Mark Cass. Ridden to victory by Pat Husbands. Added Edge completes the 1 mile of the Nashua in 1:36 3. Heading back to Aqueduct next for the Knickerbocker, one of the last turf stakes races on the card in New York. It's a Grade 2, $150,000 event, going 1 1/8 miles on the grass. Let's head back down to the Big A for the running of the Knickerbocker.
And they're off. Dickenstorm, Polish Miner, Ballet Critic, Northeast Bound. Out of that chute and onto the main course here. And it's Ballet Critic on the inside, Northeast Bound on the outside. Those two vying for the lead. And just in behind them, it's Serial Bride, who tucks in third position, followed by El Tawasul fourth. Dickenstorm in between horses, racing fifth with Dawn of the Condor on the inside and Polish Miner on the outside. A break of 3 back to Full Flow, 5 lengths back to I'm All Yours, very slow to get in stride. Into the clubhouse turn, Northeast Bound is the leader and shakes loose from Ballet Critic. To lead after a quarter in 24 4/5 seconds. Northeast Bound cruising into the backstretch unopposed. Ballet Critic runs in second. El Tawasul pulls his way up into third position. Serial Bride loses a spot to be fourth. And on the inside, Dickenstorm. Then Polish Miner, Dawn of the Condor, followed by Full Flow. It's still a break of another 6 or 7. Back to I'm All Yours, who's still loping along well behind the rest. And the pace is tepid, a half in 50 4/5 seconds
for Northeast Bound, who is still loose on an unchallenged lead as they hit the far turn. Ballet Critic still sitting in second. On the outside, El Tawasul now moves up into third position. Serial Bride is now fourth. And then it's Dickens Storm, couldn't keep up, drops back in fifth. Polish Miners in an all-out drive sixth. Followed by Dawn of the Condor, who's bottled up toward the inside, full flow. 5 lengths back, I'm All Yours, no impact at all. Off the turn, into the stretch, Northeast Bound and Ballet Critic going at it head-to-head. Ballet Critic now on the outside, short lead. There's room at the inside for Dawn of the Condor, who comes through on the rail now. Here comes Dawn of the Condor. Northeast Bound fights on in between horses. And Dawn of the Condor, Jorge Chavez, with some daring do there to go on and win by 2.5 lengths. And it's close for second between Serial Bride and Polish Miner.
Dawn of the Condor spurting clear under Georgie Chavez to win by an easy 2+ lengths over Serial Bride, who had recently been very competitive against good stakes types out of town. Polish Miner, who didn't appear to be handling the yielding turf course all that well, heading up the backstretch, was able to close a little bit of ground in a wide move to finish in the third spot. Dawn of the Condor had been running quite well of late in allowance company, not quite against stakes company, but handled the move up and the move onto yielding turf course very nicely. Dawn of the Condor is a chestnut 5-year-old son of Twining from Dawn's Flame by Gray Dawn II. He was bred in Kentucky by Mountjoy Stables, owned by Rich Meadow Farm, trained by Gary Siaka, and ridden to victory by Georgie Chavez. Dawn of the Condor completes the mile in an eighth on a yielding turf in 1:52 and 2. Pair of stakes races on Sunday to complete the weekend at Aqueduct, beginning with the Grade 3 Tempted for 2-year-old fillies, this time going on the main track. Let's head back down to the Big A for the running of the Tempted.
They're in the gate, and they're off. Chimichurri breaks well. Aero Marshal from the inside. Reheat on the far outside. Moving up the chute, and Chimichurri takes the initiative. No one really anxious for that lead, and Chimichurri is in front, but moving easily earlier. Reheat alongside second. Bonet hard held third. And then it's Extra Heart, and in between those two, it's Reign of Terror. Saved by the Light toward the inside. And then Runaway Chanel and Air Marshal trailing the field. They saunter through an opening quarter in 23 3/5 seconds. Up top, Chimichurri, mild pressure from the outside by Reheat. Then Bonet edging up on the outside into third position, followed by Reign of Terror, now fourth. Saved by the Light, then Air Marshal making strides while down on the inside. And then it's Extra Heart, and 2.5 lengths back to Runaway Chanel. The half in 47 seconds flat. Chimichurri still leading the way as they round the far turn. Reheat has been second throughout. Bonet now being asked to pick it up. Air Marshal continues to gain, now fourth toward the inside. Extra Heart is rallying as they approach the top of the stretch. Then Reign of Terror, followed by Saved by the Light. And the trailer, Runaway Chanel, as the field turns for home. It's still Chimichurri. Chimichurri has a 2-length lead at the top of the stretch. Reheat full out second. Saved by the Light comes on through between horses third. Then Bonet, Extra Heart on the far outside. Air Marshal is flattened out. They're 100 yards from home, and Chimichurri is still in front. Reheat with the final try will not get to the front-running winner. Chimichurri wins the Tempted by 1.5 lengths over Reheat. It was close for third between Saved by the Light and Bonet.
Chimichurri handles the distance, the stretch-out distance of a mile very nicely here, picking up a 1.25 length victory as the favorite. Her second stakes win, her first in graded stakes company, beating Reheat, filly who racing fans from Saratoga may remember. She broke her maiden in a big way up here at Saratoga in a claiming event, and since then has run a couple of very nice races, picking up the second spot here after showing good speed outside of horses. Bonet sits a stalking trip and rallies into the third spot here in her first try against winning company. The winner, Chimichurri, is a chestnut filly, a 2-year-old daughter of Elusive Quality from Hard Knocker by Raja Baba, bred in Kentucky by Blackwater Investments and Manganaro Bloodstock. She is owned by the Peachtree Stable, trained by Todd Pletcher, and ridden to victory by John Velasquez. Chimichurri completes the flat mile in 1:37 and 2. Final stakes race of the weekend, the Turn Back the Alarm, a grade 3 for older fillies and mares going 9 furlongs. Let's head back down to Aqueduct for the running of the Turn Back the Alarm.
They're off. And there goes Fayadal. Assertive early. With ability, comes away second on the outside. And then Mystic Lady settles back a ground-saving third, followed by Critical Eye, and along came Mary. Around the first turn, and Fayadal to be the leader. No real pressure from With Ability, who's sitting back in second. 2 lengths back to Mystic Lady, galloping along nicely in third position. And then along came Mary, has Critical Eye down to her inside as they begin the run into the backstretch. The opening quarter was a reasonable 24 and 2/5 seconds, and Fayadal is the leader, shadowed by With Ability. With Ability pulling her way up a half length off the leader now. Just in behind, it's Mystic Lady, followed closely on the outside by Along Come Mary. Stretch running Critical Eye is kept within 6 or 7 lengths of the leaders, with 5 furlongs to go here. Fayadal still sparring down the backstretch with Ability. The opening half mile went in 49 seconds flat. The pace is moderate. The leader remains Fayadal, With Ability right alongside. Mystic Lady, followed by Along Came Mary. Critical Eye is left with a lot to do. She's about 9 lengths from the lead, and the leaders have been running fairly easily so far. Around the far turn, it's still Fayadal. With Ability trying to get past her in earnest now as they approach the top of the stretch. 3/4 and 13 flat. Here comes Mystic Lady, who's got room on the inside, but will angle out for the stretch drive. Farther back, Critical Eye is fourth, under the whip, 6 lengths from the lead, and the leader is still Fayadal. A furlong to go, and Fayadal still holds that lead. Mystic Lady is a non-threatening second. Critical Eye, too late, not enough to get to Fayadal, cleverly ridden here to win by 4 in front-running fashion. Mystic Lady was second, Critical Eye third.
Fayadal drawing off nicely by 4 lengths at 6-1. Mystic Lady, who most recently had run fairly well behind Azeri out in California, picking up the second spot with a nice inside move on the drive, on the turn for home rather, and Critical Eye rallying as usual from off the pace to pick up the third spot, falling just a little bit short of the $1 million mark. Her connections would like her to win $1 million before they retire her. I presume that she'll probably be back for at least one more try before they send her to the breeding shed. The winner's Fayadal, a very impressive victor here. A recent claim, actually, by local owner Roddy Valenti. She was purchased from Southern California, shipped to the East Coast, ran well in allowance company at Saratoga, dropped into a high-price claiming race down in New York, followed that up with a very good effort behind the nice Redhead Riot, who was moved since into stakes company. Fayadal overlooked in the wagering and picks up a very nice victory. First time in stakes company in New York for her new connections. Fayadal is a 5-year-old bay mare, a daughter of Honor Grades from Present Colors by Prize. She certainly handled the stretch out nicely, as the pedigree would indicate. Bred in Florida by Leonard Pivnik. She is owned by local owner Roddy Valenti, trained by Bruce Levine, and ridden to victory by Richie Migliore's Fayadal completes the 1 1/8 of the Turn Back the Alarm in 1:50 and 2. That wraps up a pretty busy weekend of stakes racing action, considering that things really tend to cool off just a little bit following the Breeders' Cup. There's still a lot of good horses racing, however, and we will be keeping track of them here for you in the coming weeks on Horses and Courses. Thanks, everyone, for joining me this week. I'm Jean Wood, and I'll see you back here next time.
Motion is 3 wide for the drive. St. Lad's Go Gal is trapped in a helmet with pace. They come into the stretch now. Tennessee Starlet shooting up the inside with good speed. Here comes Armbruster.